Good morning. It's a certifiably insane America report. Oh boy, today's D-Day. Yesterday I talked about honor, and today they talked about the most honorable men of the most honorable generation of this country who died to make it free of totalitarianism and fascism and socialism, I would hope. But here, anyhow, today let's talk about how Obama is inflating our money to the point that we are already bankrupt. I mean, right now, the interest on the loans of the money that's being printed is $17,000 per second. Per second! Oh my, that's the total GNP. I mean, that's 100% of our GNP just to pay off the interest. All right? And to pay off the loan 10 times over. So how does that money really inflate to what we would call stable property values in gold? All right. Well, let's look at the price of gold now. What is it, let's say it's $1,000 an ounce. You know, give it a break. That's because of an inflated dollar. All right. Back in 1955, when this house that I live in was purchased, it sold for $18,500. We put a $2,000 addition on, which made it $25,000, right? Back in 1955, you could buy a car, not a piece of property, and you'd usually buy it for 10% the value of your house. So, and if I remember right, the average car in 55 that we bought was about $2,000. Okay. You had a $2,000 car and a $20,000 house. Whoopee-doo. $2,000 car. All right. And then with the unions and spiraling the minimum wage. First the minimum wage would cause spiraling. We always had spiraling inflation. So that by 2005, with depreciation, at the height of our housing bubble, this house was worth $152,000. All right, $152,000. 10% of that would be, you'd buy a car for about $15,000-$20,000. 10% of the house, around $15,000 or $20,000, you'd buy a car for. Yeah, it figures. That's how much it inflated. Now, at $17,000 a second for the money that's going to bring inflation in. Well, let's see. If gold stays stable, my house, at the peak of the next inflation bubble, for all the money, the trillions of dollars that are being printed that are valueless, virtually valueless, that'd be worth approximately $1,800,000. And I should be able to buy a car for 10% of that. So you figure out what, 1,800,000. So, I don't know. $10% of that would be more than most of us can afford to buy a car. Let's face it. But then you'd be probably getting more inflated money for the amount of time you work. So it kind of works out, but what happens is that the lenders who that gave us our loans, like China, at the higher rate, now that our money is worth less, they're losing money. So we're bankrupt. We are totally bankrupt. I mean, $1 million home would sell for $100 million. An inflated can of beans that sold for $1 would be $100. All right. So what do? They devaluate the property because they devaluate by the amount that you buy. Well, it all works out somehow. But right now, the only way that we can get out of this is to, because this is all based on our not drilling for oil, not drilling for gas, not mining our coal, which we have to do. I mean, we can't even think of getting out of this without opening up those industries, our forest industries, our coal mining industries, our water industries. We should desalinate water for growing food. Grow a lot more food. A glut of food brings the price down. A $100 can of beans might actually be brought down to, like $10. Anyhow, yes, ridiculous. Anyhow, I'm just trying to give you some kind of idea of where we're headed as far as the paper money we're printing is going to be worth. Now, the people that got gold, their gold is at the paper money value. So, if it's $1,000 and the inflation hits, that gold would probably be worth, 100,000, for an ounce. I mean, 10 to 100,000. You could buy my house for like 60 ounces of gold. I don't know, or something like that. I'm not doing my math absolutely correct here, but I know it's going to be high. I'm just flipping numbers. But like 17, but I do know the exact number for it's $17,000 a second. I mean, that's a total GNP without drilling for oil, just to pay off the interest. We got to drill for oil. We got to drill for natural gas, and we got to mine our coal and bring up industries that the environmentalists just don't want us to do, or we are bankrupt. Get it straight. We're busto. All right. Have a nice day.